Korea Navy. Those are the first and second overall placings for this B division in the Atlantic region. So they have the two most difficult, at least of the standings so far, matchups in their run for this first split out of the way, and they're still ahead of VT COD, who still have to face those two teams that I had just listed on. But the matchups that they have faced, you can tell, have gone pretty far, given that they are 12 and 10 for overall map win-loss ratio. Though they did lose 0-3 versus the two best teams within this region, they're pretty much going to feel pretty comfortable ahead of the second split as a middle of the run team.
Luckily for us, we're going to feel very comfortable. But one of the most common maps we always see in competitive Call of Duty, it's going to be Moscow on Hardpoint. I'm super excited to see this one go through. It's not often where we get to see Moscow coming out from Hardpoint first, but it's such a common map that both teams know how to typically rotate.
Yeah, Moscow hardpoint in just Moscow altogether. I mean, ever since moving away from the control map pool, a lot of teams are still indifferent about it. All the way up to the pro level, it's just a very punishing map. The rotations from 2 to 3 is quite literally the entire map. You can get a lot of time off of P2. You can set up a stalwart defense and get solid 40-50s off of P4. But we'll have to see how it all plays out here on Moscow hardpoint. VT COD are 1-1 on this map mode combo. VCU Esports are 1-2. But at least starting off on the favorite side of the map so far are VT COD. They want to hold on towards those P2 spawns so that way they can really rack up a decent amount of points.
So much contention already coming on through on this first point, but look at the side of VCU already getting a little bit more control. It's going to be a matter of VCT COD, though, trying to hold it down as much as they humanly can. Points, though, going to be starting to go into the favor of VCU, holding it down a little bit more, having no contention left from VT. That's going to be a complete wipe proper. They have to make their way forwards in a single group, but they're pushing in one by one.
Yeah, they're trying to say just single file line down the escalators, and although that may be a safety measure in real life, it's not exactly gonna win you gunfights here.
Yeah, look at that!
Quick kills, a nice little snapper coming through with the XM4, and just like I ended up saying, VT COD, they were in control of those P2 spawns. There's only 5 seconds remaining inside of P1, so VCU Esports, with all the kills in tow, they're going to be able to have this strengthy setup inside of P2 where they can really get a decent amount of points going.
And look at that beautiful rotate coming out from VCU, already knowing where P2 is going to be, landing themselves there as the points go around. And sure, there's going to be a little bit of a flank coming out for an impulse, trying to get some more control, trying to clear out the button towards the way. But even then, though, Kruk able to get yet another one, trying to clear the way themselves. But the point still very handily in the favor of VCU. They're now doubling the points over VT.
He's about to be doubling on over, too. He's still scrappy over by P2. You're still fighting for 30 seconds, but this is when you're going to start having a little bit of a split focus for VT COD. You would love to have all this time, but the rotation towards New is absolutely dire. You can see player number 5 of Kruk at 6 and 4 is already making the heads-up decision to make the rotation over towards New. The scrap battle will come through for VT COD, but as long as you have these library spawns, which still in a foot race, keep in mind you might be able to set up a decent amount of time, plus a rotation over towards 4 is not exactly a long one.
Oh, but look what Kruk is doing, hiding in the very back part of the map, not too far away, though, is going to be Twisted as well. They're going to go head-to-head, though, and Twisted comes out on top, finding Kruk, but even then, though, that's going to be an immediate trade. Having a little bit of now jurisdiction on the side of P3, VCU gaining more and more points, but it's VT at the very end of each of these points, getting a little bit in their hands, but they're only finding the scraps. It's always a huge lead for VCU.
You can see just off of that one play, just blocking the spawn kills. Those close library spawns are still in effect here for VCU Esports. So VT COD, they are in possession of the hill for the time being. They're feeling comfortable, but they haven't broken in towards the close spawns. But Twisted with a quick 2, it's going to be answered on back. Still not enough to break in towards the close spawns that VCU Esports are still holding. They're still battling over the scrap time, which it seems that it will be given up from VT COD over the meantime. But VCU Esports, even with the 20-second lead here, Keg, they're still feeling very comfortable, given that you also have Schick, who moved their way over towards the boulevard, ready for the next rotation.
That's right, proper. Look at that. Another rotate coming on through. Some 1v1s happening outside of the cars, but will that be enough? No, they have to crawl on the ground instead. Impulse tries to get away, but he's going to almost fall as well. That's going to be a grenade happening as though more bodies on Virginia Tech side completely falling. It is just a landslide victory right now in the side of VCU, able to hold down the 4 pretty much unstoppably. It's up to these 1v1s now. Twisted trying to push his way forwards. One man against the entire world here, making his way up through the windows. Might be able to find one. He's able to get some control, but not exactly where he needs to.
Hey, I mean, the hill's still open, so there's still 30 seconds remaining. You know, VT COD, they would love to make their way down the boulevard, but Ventric is just set up inside the Rusted Bus. All these players are just walking down this very mere boulevard inside the awaiting crosshairs. of VCU Esports. And the first set of hills, as it comes to a grand closure, VT COD, I mean, they're not too far out of it yet. They're going to be feeling pretty comfortable with this 30-second contested time that they have between the two teams. But, you know, ahead of it all, you're really starting to lean on what they can do with all these kills. I mean, Twisted is 11-8. And to the disparity of the rest of their teammates, they've barely gotten past 5 kills as the next teammate behind Twisted. But they haven't really been able to get much map pressure. Now, on the other side for VCU Esports, Kruk being at 12-10, 10-6 for Timmy, as well as Ventric at 11-6. And they're winning so many damn gunfights here, Keg, that map pressure isn't exactly a concern of theirs.
Oh, absolutely not. And this is the first time we've seen Virginia Tech really get a hard point in the beginning. They didn't have to fight for rotations. They didn't have to fight for scraps, but it seems like they're overextending their ground just a little bit more. These 1v1s, the Commonwealth are winning. And with that being said and done, already in the triple digits, it's a matter of a 10-point differential between both of these teams. Now, again, handedly in the favor of the Commonwealth side, they're able to hold that control as much as they can. Keeping an eye on Trico, though, he's able to clear the ways a little bit more, but Impulse gets onto the site and can't find a single body.
Hey, I mean, this hard point is still close. It's only 30 seconds in between these two teams. And the reason why it is close is because VT COD, again, they're getting to the rotation every single time. These opportunities are opened up by Twisted, and you're still seeing them try to work through the middle of the map. P2 has popped. 10 seconds has already passed, and VT COD, they have an avenue through the opening of Square coming out from the Metro side of things. So VCU Esports, they have the close spawns. But as the gunfight starts to break out, it's still contested time, which, again, VT COD are able to stay alive in the game.
And these early rotations are what Commonwealth, or Virginia's Commonwealth, has been able to use so very well. It was a bit of a rough beginning for the P2 here, Props, because we didn't see anyone get that early rotation. They were stalled out by gunfights, but being able to get onto the site now, they're coming close to the 150 mark, and that's going to be the hugest differential we've seen so far.
Yeah, VCU Esports, I mean, now that they're really starting to break in towards the holds that VT COD are trying to set up, fast and furious, like, they're really starting to build a lead. But this scrap time, again, even soaking up this back 18 seconds, it's still going to keep this game within about 30 seconds. So, as All-Star, you saw on their screen, even look at the minimap, they're trying to block the spawns. It comes down to Trico to win these gunfights over by Fountain. They're successful, but the trophy system is going to be the punishing factor. Timmy will take them down with said trophy. So, the initial time will be here. They've also dealt with at least All-Star in the back. Twisted's trying to block the spawns coming up from Bank, but this is about to be a pinch setup as VCU Esports, their reinforcements aren't here yet.
Oh, Twisted has been an absolute stranglehold for taking over some of these sites, but again, we're seeing some of these early rotations coming through. Virginia Tech able to hold it down a little bit more, but Kruk might be able to find some luck. He's been the top fragger for the side of the Commonwealth, and he's able to lead the way yet again, taking over the site. It's up to these individual 1v1s. Are they going to push as a group on BT's side, or are they all going to push in unison? That's the big question, and that could ultimately decide how game number one's going to go, but they all push single-handedly. Another one falls. Coming in through the flank, though, Trico's able to find not one, but two, taking them down. But even then, he has controlled the site, surrounded by the enemies. His teammates not too far behind, but they're a little too far to help him out in case he goes down. But no, he's able to trade himself out a little bit more.
Yeah, you know the win condition here is that you got to let Trickle play their life over towards the Fountain Hill. They will be doing so in very successful fashion. Now just 20 seconds between these two teams. This allowed VT COD to quick rotate over towards Boulevard. They cleared out the Rusted Bus, but the gunfights soon to follow aren't exactly going their direction until Impulse comes in. 8-18 right now, but what an influential two-piece. They will be here to keep it contested, and VT COD have the bank spawns so they can reinforce this hill.
Oh, and VCU need to get control back of P3. This has been so good. Twisted, holding down the fort as of now. Has a problem with overextending, and he does a little bit more, but he makes it work. Finds one, gets traded out immediately. That could be Commonwealth's time to bring it back. So many bodies dropping on BT's side. Moving on forwards on VCU. Only two hiding. One top of bus. It's going to be traded out immediately, but coming through below, he's going to find the hip fire. Now, back in the favor of the Commonwealth yet again. One going to be rotating. Impulse gets the kill, and this is a hugely traded back and forth point.
Yeah, P1 will typically be scrappy. I mean, you see just continuous hits, even at the tail end of 4 going in towards new, is that you're trying to push all the way through 4, all the way through the Metro or Checkers, depending on how you want to see it, to break in towards the spawns of VCU Esports. With these close spawns intact, they're always going to be able to reinforce this hill sooner, and they're going to be able to look at towards P2 where they can get a lot of good time. But you still have 50 seconds before you have to truly fight for those spawns. VT COD are starting to work their way in through Boulevard. They have a little bit of a pinch. VCU Esports, they're trapped in the Metro right now.
Oh, Proper, you mentioned it yourself. Early on, VCU always gets the point, for the most part, and then VT cakes the scraps at the very end. And that's not working for them, but at least they're only about 25 away. Make that 15. Do you think that's a viable strategy for them to go into the end game of Hardpoint?
Well, they're gonna have to clean it up coming in towards this set of hills, Kage, and so far they're doing a pretty good job. Again, they're blocking spawns, they're finding very influential amount of kills, but again, when it comes down to the rotation, when it matters the most, 10 seconds remaining inside of P1, this is when you wanted to hold on to the spawns. VCU Esports, although they came all the way from gold, they broke through the cutout wall inside of the metro. They're now in possession of P2, and they have players inside of the police station overseeing every little bit of pinch that's trying to come through for VT COD. And this is why they're over the 200-point threshold and where they might just be able to close out the game on this hill.
Couldn't have said it better, Proper. Already having control of another point. It's going to be up to Impulse now. Impulse and Twisted have been absolute staples for trying to take this back, but no, it's going to be so many bodies trading back and forth. Only one left alive. It's going to be Timmy, and he's so far away. Trico and others still having control of the point. 30 seconds left, Proper. This could be the make or break moment now for VT side. If VCU takes control of it again, they only need 45 or so more points to bring it home. Now down 20 seconds. Trades go back and forth. No one has clear control. It's going to be contested, but VCU take it back with only 20 left.
There's only 20 left here, so now you're going to put yourself at about 240 points here for VCU Esports, but it's going to be a foot race for reinforcements to try to go help out Ventric. You can see the blown up part of the minimap. Ventric is over here by the bank, in between the library, just trying to block spawns, but the kills aren't coming through. You have numbers for VT COD that's about to be passed inside of the Fountain Hill that's about to be popping. Some shots ended up coming through. Twisted knows. They should have known, but Ventric ends up getting the kill, so now it's a pinch.
Oh, a pinch indeed. This is the very last steps of VT right now from game number 1. They have to hold it down as much as they can. They have the sight. This could be the very last point we see in the entire game. There's only 2 minutes left in the total clock. It's up to VT now. Only a 10-point differential. It's going to be All-Star holding down the entire fort. They get traded out, trying to get traded out immediately, but the whole kill feed turns into the favor of Virginia Tech yet again. It's getting so close. A huge differential. Only 3 points now, evened out completely. If they can hold the rest of this point for 20 seconds, they may very well steal away map number 1.
This is going to be the last hit here. 242 to 235. VCU Esports, they got a break here. The close spawns are just intact for VT COD. It's going to be contested for the time being, and that's all you need. It's just a hit for the front, but it's going to be good for the time being.
It's contested right now. Only 3 points left for Virginia Tech side. They've been the underdog the entirety of this map, and now this could be their chance of victory, but there's only 3 seconds left. Even those points will matter on VCU side. We're going back to the cars yet again. Early rotations coming out from Virginia Tech. If they can get 2 more points, they can steal away map number 1, but they only need 1 more, and they're able to steal it away. The underdog the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie here. I think that somebody has to get Twisted some sort of beverage of sort, or just a pat on the back or something, because he dragged VT COD through that entire opening hardpoint set of hardpoints, and hell, even through the second set of hardpoints as well. He drops like 38 kills, something like that, goes double positive almost, and it just with the XM4, it finds so many influential kills. It says, well, if my team's not going to take this space, I'll do it myself. They do just such a good job. And then towards the tail end, the SMG lineup coming up from VT COD starts picking up VCU Gold. Although they may have outslayed VT COD as a collective, they just couldn't end up keeping up with what Twisted was bringing to the table. I mean, that was just something special. Walking into this match, they already have a 1.68 KD, and now you're seeing exactly why.
Yeah, Twist is definitely someone I really want to keep an eye on for the next 2 maps especially. We're going to be taking things a lot slower when we go to Search and Destroy, and usually get that kind of momentum shift that we see a lot. Usually those more aggressive teams like we saw from VCU kind of suffer a little bit, but already coming out on top from Virginia Tech side, they may have a great advantage going to maps 2, and to an extent, going to Control, they may also carry that with them.
Yeah, I mean, they just might. And when things slow down, this is where your methodical brain's muscles get to end up flexing, and then we get to see how you end up really spending your time. Is what I end up like to saying for some of these college students, because remember, I mean, these are collegiate esports athletes, right? It's like, you know, they're focused on their studies first, and then they're focused on competitive esports as a secondary, as a hobby, if you will. And you can end up seeing it if you're a pub stomper, or if you spend a lot of time in search and destroy challenges, your GBs, your wagers, or hell, even just league play for search and destroy in general. And that's what I really enjoy to see. And even not knowing much about these teams, Keg, I can already tell you just looking at the stats at VT COD. I mean, they're not too bad at search. They hold a 66% win percentage at 4-2 overall for search and destroy, even at winning a handful of maps themselves. That's a pretty good stat line coming off of a very good hard point where you would think just at stats alone that VCU Gold was going to be able to win that matchup, but it's just not going to be the case. They seem to be the more dominant respawn team just off of numbers alone. They came out just very quick and furious, and we're staying on Moscow. And you say that things might just slow down, but the way that a lot of these collegiate teams end up playing just Moscow search and destroy, I'm not gonna lie here, brother. They just run at each other over by A. Sometimes you might just get some decisive momentum shifts through the middle of the map, through Metro. But overall, I mean, this is going to come down to just quick, decisive gunfights. And so far, through what we've been able to gather from that Moscow hardpoint, that might just end up favoring VCU Gold having numbers at the end of the fight rather than the amount of kills that Twisted can find before the fight truly breaks in.
No, you're completely right, Proper. We saw a lot less aggression, I'd say, overall on hardpoint from VCU Gold. They played a little bit more tactically. They went for the rotates towards the very end, and that allowed Virginia Tech to kind of scrap up some meager points in the beginning. Sure, Virginia Tech got the really important sites by the very end of the game, but what about the majority of the time? VCU holding the fort. They knew that was more important than getting the kills, and they only really fought when they needed to. Very rarely did we see them overextend. Now, you do say there's going to be a lot of aggression coming out in search and destroy, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But VCU, their methodical play needs to really shine on this next map.
Yeah, it absolutely does too. And you can only imagine that this might be a map that they could feel comfortable. You could say that about both teams. VCU
True.
Esports, they are 1-1 here, and VT COD have also played here twice, but they have not lost it quite yet. But keep in mind that when you're looking at for teams that have a little bit more pack to the punch for what they could potentially offer inside search and destroy. For what we've seen in just to put it down to the nitty gritty for Moscow search and destroy, you would probably again lean towards VCU Gold. The pressure of the submachine guns versus the power of an AR. And although it was Kruk versus Twisted, primarily through that hard point, you're talking about two XM4s. It's going to come down to the breaks and holds. In that, in my opinion, comes down to the SMGs. Although you can do it with an XM4, the weapon's pretty good. It's just going to really just when it comes down to those rotations and trying to make those decisive calls and finding those very quick kills, the submachine guns really got to come through for both of these teams.
I mean, let's be honest. It's only a good gun when you're using it. If you're on the wrong end of the barrel, it's not a fun gun to be against.
That's so true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the same reason why the AK-47 is G8, and so many people have finally died by the LW3 Tundra that they wanted that out of the way as well. And well, they got it. And so absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say the same thing about the 74U, but at the end of it all, that's where we end up having classes. I could probably kill just as fast as the 74U as an AR could kill me with an XM4, but we may rage about it at the end of the day. But I totally respect the different classes.
I think the big question right now, you had the biggest brain of CCL. What do you expect to see weapon-wise between these two teams at Search and Destroy?
Well, it depends on what site you're trying to hit, right, Keg? I mean, like, if you're trying to hit A very quickly, you could run a 3 SMG, 1 AR setup for the offensive team. Typically, you'll see a 2-2 setup defensively, an SMG if you're holding close inside of the apartment B, S, and D site, an SMG if you're holding the brick heady over by the A site. With an AR, typically an XM4 holding the boulevard and over by the pillar side or inside of green by the billboard. But it all just depends on what you're trying to go for, right? If you want more flexibility, you're looking for more rotations, the XM4 is your gun. But overall, probably going to be a standard 2-2 for a lot of these rounds, not unless it becomes an overall scrappy brawl and we get an overall glorified team deathmatch over by the AS&D site, in which case it might be just riddled with 6 SMGs and 2 ARs between the 8 players in this lobby.
Sounds like we're returning to standards, and we might be seeing a lot of aggression coming up from two teams ready to grab each other's throats. It's Search and Destroy coming back to Moscow again, and one person we definitely want to keep an eye on here for Virginia Tech side is Twisted. I mean, honestly, as an observer, I wouldn't mind just keeping an eye on him for the majority of the round. Trico does have the bomb in play, and though it looks like they will be trying to hit B, the rotates from VCU need to come into effect right about now.
Depends on whether or not the information was mutual. The rotation's starting to come through for VCU Esports, but VT COD, they are here. It's about finding the entry kill. They got to get inside of this site. And player number 3 of Impulse, they're already in here. They're pressed up towards square. Can Twisted find the trades? Yes, there's one.
Oh, Twisted's already able to find one, but gets traded out immediately. The plan's going to go down, but there's only 2 left alive. Though, the same could be said for VCU's side as well. Trico hiding away, waiting for the diffuse sounds to go on through. He's alone on the site. He might be able to see one, but already traded out. Timmy, only separating by a wall on the other side. Could be another one to find him, but no, he's going to jump through the window. He has to get to the plant, but running through, caught with your pants down. Virginia Tech takes round 1.
Yeah, and again, this was a fast boulevard hit for B. VT COD knew exactly what they wanted. The second that they left the spawn for this search round, and boy, how did they find the kills? Bullied their way inside the site, and although they did get first blood, quick trades and the quick pinch soon to follow found themselves a plant and the round as well. And you thought Twisted was going to pop off in the hard point too with that 1.68 overall KD. Keep in mind, you headed into Search and Destroy. They sit at an overall 2.18 KD. That's across 17 maps that has been gathered. So yeah, this player definitely comes to play the game, and this VT COD again with a 66% overall win percentage might just have some things figured out. But VCU Esports are looking to hit A very fast and furious. It's just gonna be player number 6 that's left behind, looking at the gold alleyway for any players to try to rotate over.
Oh, but it looks like both teams have figured out exactly what they need to do. Trades happening all over the site. Twisted with a double kill, no less, able to take over some of the site. Trickle pushing up, but no, VCU seemingly out of nowhere steal it away.
And you'll see here more than likely at the end of the round is the initial hit. And this is the two options that you have, right? When you ask me about what the weapon loadouts are going to be, if you try to go for the brawl over towards the A site, this is where you have to rely on your SMGs. Timmy comes through with the 74U in hand, finds a nice little snap and turn around over towards another player inside of or over by the brick wall, excuse me. That's exactly what you want. And sometimes either you try to go for the quick play or you try to hit all the way through. Luckily enough, you had a pinch for VCU working through escalators, so the reinforcements for VT COD were not able to stand for too long. Nice round to win for VCU Esports into round number 3, an offensive round for VT COD. Finds the bomb being carried by Trico. They're actually going to entry frag inside the A site, but it's Impulse that gets first blooded.
Oh, but what is Vang doing right now? Hiding behind the brick wall. Might be able to see two different bodies if they push up momentarily. He has a great power position. Bomb, though, stuck in the middle inside the small little corridor right above the escalators. They could rotate out if they're so inclined, but it might be a tricky maneuver to do. Trico essentially stalled out by Crux positioning up top. Vengeance might be able to find one. Twisted, though, the top fragger from the last game is going to be able to skirt himself on by. Though he's able to almost find one, he's going to get traded out. Twisted's able to find the top fragger, VCU last round as well, and he just goes ham. He's able to find so many. That's going to leave Schick now the last one alive, having to push his way up forwards. The bomb's going to go down. He has to defuse and take down 3 different bodies, but already at the top of escalators, he's spotted, but no! He's able to trade it out instead, making things a 1v3 now, 202, 1v2. He might be able to do it, but he has to take down Twisted, already 5 and 2 on the board. He has to rotate all the way around, but the timer's ticking down. 30 seconds left. He has to battle Twisted. He might be able to get some shots, and he's able to get the kill, bringing things to a 1v1. 24 now. He has time. He has to push up, though. Trico's on the other side, though. He's waiting for that diffuse sound. He might be able to find it, though. Sheik, having no intel, needs to look around everywhere he can, has to find that safety, but Trico right on the other side has to go for a sitting duck. He's going to take the long way, though, gives him plenty of time, but Sheik gets off of it. Huh? And it still possibly wins. Is there time to defuse? No, there isn't.
It's so tough in that position, right? You were able to find the ace of the round there for Schick, but you were not able to find enough time. That's just the toughest part. You're walking in there for a 1v3. You gotta have enough time to find 3 kills in quick succession while not taking too much damage to wait for the regen to come on through. All of that not in the favors, but still impressive gunfights nevertheless. To be able to exhaust the rest of the time there for VT COD was a wise decision. Ego challenges aside from Twisted there inside of the billboard was regardless, it's gonna be a round win. VCU Esports, if getting those 4 kills on the Schick, being at 5 and 1, the potential to play for streaks could come through in a few rounds depending on how this one plays out for us. They're going to be tasked with looking through Metro inside the gold alley while the bomb does move over towards A, but this could open up a rotation over towards B. Their biggest concern with this is you got Impulse inside the cutout wall. They're going to receive this.
Oh, Impulse is in such a power position right now. Might be able to find different... Already everyone's hiding away on VCU's side. Top of escalators, though, Sheik might be able to find yet another one, but no, instead he's able to find one off screen. Holy, though, Trick. Oh, able to find a bit of a flank there, rotating back around. If they can get the plant down, no one has the bomb. Sheik pushing him up, maybe escalators, looking around. It's not able to find anything just yet, but they have the bomb. They could rotate the B, like you mentioned, proper, but that's going to be a hard journey, especially in such a 2v2 situation where Trico pushes up. They get traded out immediately. But is that going to be all that is left alive? Kruk versus Twisted, the 2 top fraggers from last game, now duking it out. A battle of the Titans proper. 25 seconds left. That plant needs to go down. Twisted already on B site, waiting around to see if Kruk is going to make what should be the obvious move.
It should be, but I mean, Crook has no idea where Twisted at. I mean, Twisted just posted up inside green, has to stick this plant. Twisted checks it, gets a little bit of a sound cue. Slide challenges it. There's only really one win condition there from Crook, and that's just to plant the bomb. So VT COD now with a 2-round lead. Again, pardon me again. CCL does not play with streaks, but still, nevertheless, would have been an impressive spree. Nevertheless, does not get to go past the 5 margin. So Shake will be 6-2, 7-3 for Twisted. And again, you talk about how Kruk and Twisted are the top fraggers for quite literally both these teams. Top 2 players in the entire lobby, really coming on through for many of these different rounds. But it's VT COD again. They're just playing for each other's trades, coming out on top of these engagements. But becomes a very fast and furious hit over towards A.
Oh, is this going to be the smart move, though? Already we see an absolute plumage happening on the A side. So many trades going on through, but not really in the benefit of Virginia Tech. In fact, it's all going to be on VCU side. Only one body left alive now. All-Star finds himself in a very peculiar situation. He has to peek everywhere he can, but no, bullets are flying everywhere. He doesn't check all of his corners, though, and VCU steal a very quick win.
Yeah, and that's why a fast hit over to A is very tough without smokes. Well, smokes are G8, so you're not going to be seeing any of that coming on through. You get to just worry about so many different positions. Here's one of them from the best play of the round, Kruk, just playing the heady by the brick wall. You got to worry about the planters box over by pillars and players inside of green, playing the bomb itself, the corner of the phone booth. Good Lord, there's just so many different positions. And again, that's why it just comes down to your SMGs. They got to fly in there. They got to get twisted. No pun intended to the player's name, but you got to get cracked. You got to find those kills very quickly. And well, they come through for the defensive team. We were just posted up waiting for those kills to come through. And a very easy round for VCU Esports, who are flipping the switch. They're going towards this B site, but Trico and Impulse are going to see things. They're going to lose one, though, but it's going to be the B site regardless.
Impulse has been such a huge anchor player. Although they haven't been able to find too many kills yet in Search and Destroy, they've been able to find so much pivotal intel for the rest of the team to frag out and win these rounds. But the bomb's going to go down on B. Sniper shots coming out from Twisted. Going to find at least a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, teammates are falling on VT's side. Everyone has to rotate around. Already winning. This could be the tie-breaking win right now, but no, it's going to be Timmy from the other side. That's only going to leave one left alive. All-Star's been in this position before. It was only one round to go, and it was not a favorable one for him. Having to push on up now. Timmy's going to find 2.
And again, it's just that opening pick. You find that player inside the cutout wall. You know that's probably your main line of defense over towards B. Not unless there's an immediate player over by the boulevard. There wasn't. No pushback going inside of the apartment bomb site here for VCU. Well, we find ourselves halfway through the Moscow Search and Destroy, knotted up 3 apiece. And again, the teams adapting to each other, just really playing out all the stops. That B hit was just so well coordinated. And again, like you talked about it, Impulse was that anchor player. They may be 0-6 right now. EKIA probably says that they have a help for an elimination, but regardless, was really hoping to keep their life there to play a more pivotal role for VT COD. VCU Esports are really starting to wake things up. VT COD are looking to rock the boat all the more so. Looking to afford this B hit, but VCU Esports, they checked them out of the library. They got players here.
Oh, but is their books overdue, though? That's going to be the big question. It looks like they are. Timmy's able to find one, almost finds the bomb carrier, but they're going to get away with their life. Trico gets out of there and skedaddles. But here's the thing. VCU has been taking advantage of Virginia Tech just playing so aggressively and pushing up into their lines of sight. Just like that, she is able to prove the point. Finding another one. That's going to leave the bomb carrier. Last one alive. Trico's almost going to trade things out, but it's a 1v3. That's not the best position to be in. Now 44 seconds left. He might be able to find some action, but even then, grenades, utility being lost everywhere he goes. Flash grenades and utility all surrounding him. Proper, I think he's stalled out.
It's such a tough spot. You're just hoping that one of the members just try to get a force area your way, but at 25 seconds trying to make a play happen, it's just going to leave the window, and yeah, that's just going to be the round. VCU Esports, again, they had the read, and it's just in such a tough spot. It's that position right there that you saw at the beginning of the best play that Timmy was playing in, and it takes a certain amount of stones, Keg, to try to make that play happen when you pop in through the window with an SMG. It comes through. You find first blood. You get away with your life initially. Trades do end up coming through, but VT COD's B push was immediately stuffed. And you saw what happens when you try to cross through the gold alleyway. You're going to have a AR just holding that line. It's going to be an easy few kills. Well done. Sheik now up to 9-2, 7-4 for Kruk. Really just say with the past 3 rounds all coming in the favor of VCU Esports, they are just in control.
They have found their groove right now. They don't want to mess with the mojo, but they're playing aggressive here on A site, and that could be good or bad. They've had pretty good luck about this site in the past, but also on the defense, they haven't. Luckily, though, they're on the aggress this time. They have the bomb in hand, but they have to get it into the ground. But these trades are already starting to happen and go on through. Twist is able to find a double kill, no less, able to make the numbers a little bit more in their favor. It is tied, but even then, seeing who comes out on top here could decide the round. Trico's able to get away barely with their life, but on the escalators down below on the lower right, she caught off guard. It's gonna be taken down. It's just the bomb carrier left alive, caught with their pants down. VCT ties it up.
Yeah, and again, we just keep going back and forth. It seems like a nice gentleman's agreement. Firm handshakes all around between these two teams on the Moscow Search and Destroy. Just it's not even just like the craziest reads either. It's just one counterplay after another counterplay. Flank through bottom escalators through Metro. Another play, last defense for VCU Esports. You have players close towards the windows, coming outside of goalie. It's just these little nuances, these little pokes and prods for both of these teams is just keeping this just so darn competitive. And you know, who would expect the battle for Virginia to go either way? 10 points in between the hard point, knotted up again for a piece here into round number 9. Gonna be looking for some sort of edge. VT COD trying to stack for the save site.
Oh, that positioning from Trico looked so good, but they got caught off guard a little bit. Benj now having a little bit of an interesting position. Well, gets caught off in the same spot. That's gonna be the bomb back in the position of VT side. Only one left alive now. Make that a 1v2. All-Star having always been the clutch factor of these rounds, going to find himself in a very disproportionate situation. He could rotate all the way to B, but it's already being taken under control of Kruk and Sheik. If he rotates to A, it's going to be the same exact positioning for them as well. They're hiding right in between proper. That is a rough position to be in for All-Star. Anywhere he goes, he's going to be in trouble.
I mean, regardless, for the two players for VCU Esports, you're playing for the retake, you're playing for the trades, but All-Star, they have no idea. Is going to turn the corner coming away from the brick half wall. It's going to lose their life. But VCU Esports, they're going to put themselves up here on map point. Back and forth they may go, but it does not matter. We will reach a conclusion of the search and destroy regardless. And on VT COD, they got to try to knot things up here at 5 and piece for around 11 and make it go down towards kills to see who's going to get that defensive round. But I'm not even too sure if it's going to matter at that point, too. We've seen some offensive rounds that have been pretty considerable for both of these teams, but towards the tail end here, it's been pretty good as far as nice pace and gameplay from the defense for both these teams. And that's where the big mental game has been coming on through. But VCU Esports looking to tie things up here one apiece. Going to try to do it through a B site hit. But VT COD, they have players again inside of Metro. Got players inside the cutout wall to try to read this. Impulse is in a very aggressive spot. And Trickle's going to be spotted out.
Oh, but look at this. There's a bit of a blossom effect happening through on VT side. Hiding in a small corner, able to find one. Can he get out of the window and make his way through? He's able to. That's going to be Trico, though, pushing his way up. A trade now coming through yet again. Another body of VCU falls, but Timmy has been the master of this game. He's been able to hold it. Well, he was able to hold it down for so long. That's only going to leave 0 left alive, and now we're tying it up 5 and 5 again. Props.
Yeah, say what you will about Impulse. It was previously 0-8, at least in the KD ratio. But again, these players see the EKIA, so they were probably looking at something entirely different. That trigger discipline, not the easiest gunfight to win convincingly. Could be another player coming through the window, waits for the easier gunfight, wins it for first blood, and that just flips the offense. Even though Timmy comes in here, they plant the bomb and immediately find a snapper for at least one. You were down in numbers. The play was already read. It was already seen. With Trico eating a few bullets inside the cutout wall. VT COD, they have seen that before. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. VT COD just sending it to around 11, and it's going to put them on the offensive side. It hasn't exactly been the easiest of go things for them, but the way that the gunfights have previously been going, maybe the middle map might just be good for them, but she finds a very massive amount of information needing a couple bullets.
Information about a few bullets inside of their body, having to heal up and relegate away. They're not able to find that positioning to go aggressive anymore. Even if they wanted to, that would be a 1BX that they probably don't want to take at 5 and 5. A minute left on the clock. Twisted still holding out in the inside of Metro, looking to see if he can find anything, but he's going to be joining up with Trico instead to go for A. Look at the positioning, though, on BCU side, holding down as many small little niche angles as they can. Timmy, right around the corner, might be able to find the skull. Right? Yes! No! He doesn't find Twisted. That's going to be the core members gone. Luckily, the trades come on through. Vengeance able to find one, but the trades just keep on coming through like it's not stop. 30 seconds left now. Twisted's alive, and BCU take map number 2.
It would have had to have been in a complete ace coming through from Twisted. And if you wanted to flex that 2.18 KD for me, sorry, it would have had to have been right there. But still an impressive stat line regardless. It's VCU Gold Esports, the Rams out of Virginia is going to be able to come out on top and tie things up ahead of the control in a great spot to be in too. Again, that hard point was quite literally, it was like a rug underneath them. It was ripped out from underneath them. 10 points in between the two of them you can see above our heads, but that search to destroy going the absolute distance. 10 points in between the hard point, round 11 of the search to destroy. This is an absolute barn burner on our hands where the battle over Virginia is not one that could be easily settled between these two in the very least. Again, where you're having VCU Gold 5th in the division, 7th in the division for VT COD. Not a lot of disparities to speak of quite yet.
This is a battle that they won't tell you in the textbooks. The battle of the two Virginias duking it out, being so close together every single map we've seen. There hasn't been a single time in the two maps that we've casted so far proper where we have seen a huge disparity in pretty much any of these rounds. But now we're going to be going to control. That could easily change, but at least we can guarantee ourselves at least map number 4 to see who the better Virginia, at least for now, could be.
I mean, this map number 3 is going to be a tough one.
True.
You're headed to raid, and I'm not too sure how this ended up getting away. Whether or not this wanted to be a hard veto for VCU Esports, but they're 1-3 here. VT COD are 3-3, so certainly a comfort pick for them in certain degrees. And just when I was talking about the submachine gun pressure, Timmy really stepped up, at least for me, and I'm sure I could speak for you there as well for VCU Gold. That's what control rate is going to really come to be, because the pit, the rocks, middle of the map through pillars, open staircase, through kitchen, money window, all of those very key rotations, offensive, defensive. Like, you want to be that thorn for an SMG player to be the side for one of these two teams. You're gonna have to try to come on through, because I mean, Twisted and Kruk, they can only do so much. We got to see Timmy really step up there in the search and destroy for VCU Gold, but as far as VT COD is concerned, we didn't really see anybody else really be the brighter spots. I mean, Trico was right behind Twisted at certain points of time, but ahead of this control, again, you're mostly leaning on Twisted to really be your brighter star. They're going to have that XM4 trying to carve away the space. But when you're talking about control as in a whole, and these rotations got to come through, and you've got to be able to hold the numbers, you have to win these gunfights so convincingly that you're able to stack these zones and take the map pressure away from the enemy. This is both defense and offensive like. And if you go back to the really early wee bits, the first set of hills and even the beginning of this, or the second set as well, between these two teams on Moscow Hardpoint, the gunfights were not that convincing for VT COD, and that was some of their biggest struggles. They really came through for Twisted to find 1 to about 3 to win a gunfight themselves. It was always VCU Esports standing tall, and that's my biggest worry for VT COD ahead of this raid control.
I agree with that. VCU was so good about having that early on map control and hardpoint. And well, I think you could also be said that maybe the map control was a little bit better for Virginia Tech in Search and Destroy, even though they didn't win it overall. They were able to mitigate themselves a little bit more and go with the momentum of the enemy team. But now they have to take the best of both worlds. Both teams have to, no less, onto a map that's a little bit more elevated at certain parts, but I'm most worried about B.
Well, B's one of those sites. I mean, any of them
It's
really.
tricky.
Again, yeah. I mean, no smokes, no snipers. Okay, we wouldn't be seeing those things inside control anyway. But even so, like the long range gunfights and being able to take the zone quickly, that's where you're looking at your subs to break on in, past the rock, and then your ARs to be inside bedroom, to then push inside Tiki. Your SMG's got to start working that back L and wind staircase. But for the offense, here, map number 3, big swing map between these two Virginia teams. It's going to be raid control. VCU Esports starting things off on the offense, and the opening gunfight's not going their way, but I like this. They're playing reserved. You look at their arrows on the minimap, Keg. They're not trying to push too aggressively, just trying to find information. What would be the best zone for them to hit?
Yeah, and this is a really smart play. A lot of teams that we see in CCL love to just run and gun their way to A site in the beginning here, but instead we're seeing something a little bit more reserved, like you mentioned. Though that information needs to come into fruition very quickly because they're starting to lose those numbers very quickly. 29 lives on the side of Virginia Tech still, and VCU, they haven't really found their footing yet.
No, and all of that footing, by
They've
the
also
way,
lost a foot.
Yep, they've technically lost 2, I would hope.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah. Maybe
I would
3,
hope so.
you never know.
Hey, maybe they're a pirate. Maybe they got a
Yarr.
big egg. Could be possible, but I mean, they're still gonna try to play through this maybe. There's still 20 seconds remaining. Trying to make something happen. Haven't seen a lobby come to a close though. Some players are moving more than the others. Oh, nope, they're back. All right, we're good. Everybody's here.
Yes! All right. Now, it looks like
But
it's going to
yeah,
be an A. Oh, it is going to be an A hit in the beginning here. Already captured 1/3 of Zone A, but even then, we haven't seen these gunfights really be convincing in the favor of VCU side. They've been able to find some at this point. Not really. They've been able to find some, but they haven't been as impactful. They're able to gain control of A side, but is it going to be enough? As soon as they're just about ready to capture, it's going to be the rest of the VT coming in through clutch at the last second, and all the progress they made is slowly losing away on A side, but at least they can fake it out and go to B.
on the B zone, second tick is already here. They're 3 players deep here, Keg. They can just kind of stack this, and they're going to win the gunfights
Holy.
too. So add another 60 seconds on the board. They get another player, another 2 feet. Could be a peg leg. I don't really care at this point. They're back inside this match. There's just 1 tick of progress they need over at A. Schick is over here just trying to make their presence felt. And will be quickly depleted. The life's really not too far gone, but VCU Esports, they're just 1 gunfight away from closing out this offensive round.
It was a very quiet beginning for VCU and starting to turn into an absolute roar right now. Look at that. They almost have A side. They only need 1 quadrant left, but that also means all of Virginia's eyes are on a single point outside of the mansions of Raid. That's only going to be Venge hiding down. It's going to be that takeover once again coming out from Virginia Tech's side. There's not much they can do about the other quadrants that were already taken over by VCU. Can stall the rest out for 40 seconds, or better yet, 6 lives remaining on VCU's side. They could just whittle away their numbers.
Yeah, that's the winning condition right there. 30 seconds, 1 good push, no respawns remaining for VCU Esports. So this is going to be the final push here. Finds Impulse, and that could be the opportunity to try to take the map pressure away, but this is now for your subs. They try to go big. Timmy, lagged out, comes back, 5-2 for them. 5 OBJ score, can you find any more? Not going to be the case, just down to Kruk and Ventrix, but I mean, it's just in a tough spot. Yeah, VT COD, they're going to be able to close it out. But I'll tell you what, I mean, for having a player of Timmy just lag out initially and just coming right back with just about 10 seconds remaining there, Keg, and adding extra 60 seconds on the board, not too bad for VCU Esports. But even still, defensive round coming on through.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. I'm wondering, had Tommy not lagged out the whole time, or Timmy, excuse me, do you think they could have taken it? I'm a little hesitant to say yes.
Yeah, probably. And again,
Really?
Timmy was such a big part for VCU Esports' success in the search and destroy. They were finding a lot of good entry frags, and what you saw, they came right back in. They lagged out there at 5-3. They're able to tie up for the likes of Ventric and Schick, and yeah, I can only imagine that yes, they probably would have. But VT COD for their offense, able to find an opening flurry of kills over towards this B zone. First tick of progress guaranteed. Might just be the second before VCU Esports can get in here.
Oh, but we saw a lot of intel coming out in the beginning for VCU when they were on the attack. But no, this is guns blazing for Virginia Tech side. And for the most part, it's kind of working. A lot of trades coming on through, but not enough to be really impactful just yet. Lives are just about even. VT down only a single one, but that could easily change in a matter of seconds. All-Star, though, holding a bit of power position at the bottom of the lake, waiting to see if anyone pushes by on B. But that's only giving our numbers to push on through and go for a giant math horde. And they pretty much have B side under control.
Yeah, you don't want to give up more lives here for VCU Esports, so you just play for the exit eliminations. It's 2 minutes on the board, and although that may seem daunting, just look at the mini-map for just a hot second and all the map pressure that VCU Esports have to play. They have players over towards Zig. Ventric is going to be that player looking for the exits from red. You have player number 2 off-screen. Schick finds 1. That's Impulse. And they were just trying to come up from the driveway. So all angles for VT COD, although they found the opening zone, it's not going to be an easy flurry for them to be able to win a couple of gunfights as Ventric is just finessing inside of red. They will find a 2-for-1 trade. And so far, so good for VCU Esports. They cut about 20 seconds off the clock.
Oh, Sheik hiding in a small little corner down below is going to be taken down immediately. That's going to be a full-on rush onto A side. Only Timmy's hiding in between. He's able to tie Nor behind the rocks. But even then, though, there's still so many more he has to deal with. Vendrick hiding down below as well. Look at the mini-map. Still in the control of VCU's side. Everyone on VT COD playing it slow, but they need to push up in unison. Kruk on a killing spree, no less. That could be a great snipe. Might be able to find All-Star. Not going to go behind Kruk, trying to find some spawn peaks. Not able to do so either. He's going to try to get into pop shot. Not going to work either, but he's going to be pushing up instead. That's going to allow plenty of time for VT to push on up where they don't have to worry about behind instead. Look at this here, though, proper. They're able to get control of A site. A little bit of contention coming out for Ben, trying to circle around, trying to find his body. Pop goes the Weasel, baby. He's able to find 1 and able to find 2 as well. Beautiful work. But still no control of A. 50 seconds left on the clock. They have to be able to put this out now. It's a giant roaring fire, and these firemen have not been able to get there in time. Babies, women, everybody burning all at once, and Sheik still trying to hold it down almost single-handedly.
38 seconds remaining. A single respawn for VT COD. No respawns remaining. Impulse will find a quick trade, but this is your last hurrah, and you're hoping to at least try to work through the middle of the map, but your numbers are just so far down. You're down bad right now. It's a 3 versus 14, for goodness sakes. Just put them to rest here, VCU Esports, but a few kills do come through in this 3v13, so you will find progression over towards A, but VCU Esports are just one gunfight away from closing out the round.
Oh, but it's not a lot of progression at all. They're almost able to get one quadrant, 20 seconds left. They have to stay alive. Twisted, he's the only one left. He's hiding as much as he can. He's playing full on go for town right now, making sure nobody can see him, but he turns around right at the wrong time. He looks at the wrong angle, and VCU get their first round with it.
Defense for defense we go here on control, and again, you give up the initial attempt to try to break back inside the B zone so that way you can hold on to the life lead. And you see what initially happens from that setup. Covering over towards Zig over here at Spiral. The zoning was just so good. And then what ended up transpiring is that Kruk was able to work their way in towards the back line. They were over by the AC unit by Garage where you spawn for the offense for a solid like 30 seconds, just finding a handful of kills. I think they were up to like a 5 spree at some point, now at 11 and 15. And that was just always keeping VT COD's numbers just dwindling further down, that they just couldn't sufficiently push towards the zone. It's just so tough to deal with those needles in your side. But VCU Esports now looking for an offensive round. Would love to not have to deal with All-Star on this heady for the Black Van. Ripping them to shreds. Finds 2 to start it off.
Oh, but the Shredder's going to fall. The Ninja Turtles find their way almost onto the side, but look at this Impulse holding down the fort right down below on the parkway, but no one's going to be there. In fact, Sheik, right on the other side, has a better angle, not able to see anyone either, crawling on the ground. He has to just look at his feet. The dirt laying beneath is going to be an enemy. He's not able to find it, though. Surrounded, whether he realizes it or not. It's Impulse from behind, taking him down instead. But look at that. It's not going to be enough. It trades back and forth. VCU aren't able to find leverage on A or B.
We're starting to find the gunfights now. Twisted will be the next player up to try to deal with these pesky members from VCU Esports around Spiral. Well, they're doing a great job of doing so. They're 19 and 16 for goodness sakes, but they need some help.
Holy.
First thing of progress is here at A. The zoning needs to come on through. A double hit is coming on through Zig over towards Red. All-Star will be the last player as their Ventric does take down their duo, but this is while the battle's still happening over towards A. And it's Chick is over here. It's able to get the second tick of progress, and I'm pretty sure VT COD, they might just chalk the zone.
This could be the first time we see either team take A side. Now 57 seconds left on the clock, and it's looking pretty good for VCU. They take over A side. 2 minutes to work with a site that both teams have been able to take relatively quickly on their offensive sides. That's coming up now. All-Star having a great position, able to find one, but he has to duck away very quickly. Heal up as much as he can. One coming down from his right side. It could be here. Keep in mind, every life still does matter in these positions, though he's not going to find the kill. Instead, they put... No. Cash room might be a great position as well. B site. Only having Impulse and All-Star from behind might be able to find them on as much as it is a pinch. It's not going to be enough to work on through. But Timmy takes cover in kitchen. A minute 30 left on the clock proper, and things are looking good for VT yet again. VCU haven't found their footing.
Lives are even here too. So VT COD, when you're thinking about this, if you're new to competitive Call of Duty, VT COD are just searching for these win conditions. There's no tick progression over towards B. There's already one win condition, and well, get your clays in chat. There goes Twisted off the map, but even still, they're still holding strong. You know, you hold a 2-life lead. The clock is sub 1 minute. Now you're just hoping that this pinch that Ventric is trying to set up through jungle gets at least scouted out. You just don't want VCU Esports to pinch going inside the B zone, because it's just one good gunfight, and then they're stacking the zone.
Oh, but Trico has been so good. 21 and 16 right now, right up there with Twisted, but still, as soon as one trade goes down, they get just knocked out back forwards. 30 seconds left. No, the timer is still ticking down. B-side having a little bit of presence for VCU's side. It's just not enough. All of VT have been able to maintain their lives, having a 2 advantage right now, but even then, they have to play it safe starting now. It's going to be a great position, though, to find everybody. Sheik's able to find one, gets traded out immediately, but then again, VCU, no respawns remaining, have a huge task at hand. That's only going to be left with 2 different bodies, all so much on Virginia Tech's side. If you're VCU right now, there's not a lot you can really do. You have to push. You have to whittle down these bodies. But when you can't even look left or right, Timmy's lucky to find one. But Cash Room's going to trade him out instead. He's gone for the count for the round. Vengeance, though, trying to hold down as much as he can. It's not going to work.
Yeah, and again, that's just really wise defense coming out from both these teams. So VT COD, they give up the A zone. They're just like, we don't want to lose as many lives, so they go for a very strong B zone hold. And They're able to come out on top of it ever so wonderfully. Kruk was playing this position more than adamant. And when you have an AR in this spot alone, you're just seeing the feasting that Kruk is able to unleash towards their adversaries. But coming out of the end of all, if we keep trading defense for defense, this might just come down for the team. Whoever takes the first offense is probably going to end up winning the entire map, unless the defensive team, whoever has the most kills in that round 5, could close it on out. But VCU, I mean, they got really close as far as an offensive round is concerned. Would have loved to see them try to block the spawns and work their way past jungle. Unsuccessful in doing so, but VT COD, they could win an offensive round and just be able to close out the map. But Kruk plays that Black Van Heady. It's a couple kills. And VCU Esports, they are just running to the spawn of VT COD.
Oh no, this is already such a poor beginning for Virginia Tech side. They're able to find 1 kill, the first one and only one so far this round, and they're trying to take B. But Proper, you mentioned how much they have to play offensive here, and while they're able to do so on B, they're being stifled a little bit as well. Vengeance, though, trying to push on through, not going to find too much, but they're already 1 quadrant array. But it's always been A or B that causes problems.
They're stacking the zone, and again, this is how raid hardpoint or control works. Excuse me. Much like frequency, if you've ever played Black Ops 4, that you will start spotting parallel towards the next zone. And once VT COD, they spawn parallel inside the bedroom. They just gun towards B. They find themselves numbers. 2 gunfights went their way, and VCU Esports, they just couldn't reinforce that zone and couldn't get them off that part. So now just barely under 2 minutes. VT COD, they got numbers towards driveway. 2 players here defensively for VCU Esports. And if Trico can finesse around this white fan, they're only at 4 HP. It will go down. It's about to be an opportunity for VT COD to try to work inside this A zone. But VCU Esports, we've seen this before, Keg. Might just be able to get a good spread of things to win a handful of gunfights.
And keep in mind, too, we've seen them tie out both times, so many times between all these different maps. Well, look at that. That missile's only going to find 2 bodies. That's going to help a little bit, but there's still a 7-point differential between the 2 teams. Though Trickle finding these sly, stealthy kills behind a bunch of people are really good, they have to really maintain their posture. They have to take A. And again, that first offensive win, if they're able to find it, could be the game-winning move for them. But as VCU comes on through, extra bodies in hand, over double now over Virginia Tech, a multi-kill from Sheik seems like that could be another nail in the coffin as it might go 2-2.
9 lives to the 20, and now you're just starting to think that if you are Trico, this might just go to a round number 5 that you were really hoping to hold on towards that cruise missile. Now, you still have the artillery strike to play with, and that could come in quite handy for round number 5. And just from top to bottom, as far as kill differential is concerned, I almost have to say that VCU Esports, they have more over VT COD, although Trico is at 33 and 32. Or 23 rather, 26 and 27 for Twisted. I just don't think that's enough for all the VCU Esports members that are past the 21 kill threshold. But I mean, one last attempt might just end up coming through. VCU Esports, they are reading where all these hits are coming from. You just have an absolute feast and a half coming through from Schick with an XM4 in hand. They're on a 5 spree and 25 seconds remaining for VT COD to try to touch the zone.
Now, Proper, I'm not a mathematician, but comparing 2 to 17, it's a bit of a no contest.
Yeah. No joke. It's absolutely no bit of a contest to it. And that's what's really scary is that some of those rounds were just so convincing and a little bit more lackluster than the next for VT COD that VCU Esports were able to slay out a little bit more. That they potentially, more than likely, will be sitting there on the defensive round. And that's how everything has gone so far. Yes, both teams have been able to secure at least 1 zone. We almost saw a complete offensive side go in the favor for VT COD. They almost got all 3 ticks of progression over towards B, but it's been all defense so far, and they will end up getting that defensive side. There are streaks to play with for both sides. Now, here's what it's going to come down to. Do you use this for retakes? Do you use this just to try to even up things in the life disparity? These are going to end up being the certain decisions that could be the make or break for either of these teams, for both of these sides.
We're definitely going to see a lot of streaks coming out here on A side, though. Already, VCU are able to nail so many different bodies down, but especially Timmy's able to put up the front lines. Look at that. His ring around the Rosie, around this little, what is this, a statue outside, but Sheik is able to come out on top here. Of course, he overextends a little bit, tries to find some more kills. Twisted, though, is able to trade him out, but that could be early control of B.
Might just be. Hey, you got a couple of good kills over here. First tick of progress. Second tick might just end up coming through. And you got Ventric just being a nuisance over inside a bedroom, but I'm pretty sure that they have a 74U, so they're not going to be able to lock down these kills where they're all hiding. So you just got to end up giving this up. The entire B zone will be completely
Oh.
conceded. So now it's 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the board. Timmy does fine too. So now with these kills until you're just zoning VT COD away. We've seen this so many times where it's a 2-minute hold. The lives are even between these two teams. With VCU Esports, they can't give up too much map to VT COD.
Proper. This has been an absolute mountain for VCU to climb right now. 2 minutes left, but they have to win offensively on A, and that's a task that of these teams. Though they are starting to get that early control on the A. That's really good. Trico's pushing up and says something differently. They're able to find one, but there's still multiple bodies left. He's surrounded. Whether he realizes it or not, probably now he does after one starts shooting, but Kruk is able to hide below the van. He's going to go down. This could be early aggression coming on through. They need to get one tick, but they're not able to do so just yet. Still defending zone A. All-Stars around the corner, though they're playing Pop Goes the Weasel everywhere they can, and it's working so well. Everywhere's turning into an absolute meat grinder for Vengeance, finding a double.
Ventric is streaked out too. So I mean, even if you do lose this A zone, you could just use these streaks to come back. And now I'm wondering if Trico still holds on to that artillery strike. Could be a difference maker whether or not you make it inside the zone or not. Timmy's just holding down Pit. It will be traded on out via open staircase. But VT COD, it's been about a minute since they have captured that B zone, and no tick progression to speak of whatsoever over towards the A zone. Now, lives are only 3 is the difference between these two teams. So VT COD, they're wise to slow things down. They're setting 2 players towards jungle, back tiles. Sheik is over here. They will be traded on out, but this pinch just might be the play.
Oh, this is going to be a tough position to be in. This pinch needs to work. Everything's tensing up to this moment where we're definitely going to see map number 4, but even then, VCU would have come out on top for that one. They've been a bit of an underdog in this map so far. They've been an underdog in map number 1 as well. Well, the missiles now coming through. We're starting to see full-on destruction coming on, and it seems to be going in the favor of VCU yet again. They have to get this down. They have the bodies to work with, but 30 seconds left. That zone has yet to be captured. Vengeance, though, having everyone on the site, though, he tries to go in for the defense. He's not able to do so. Already halfway through.
Wow. VT COD, 3-2. You know, I sat here and I said, Keg, that this map mode combo was going to go down to the first team to win an offensive round. I didn't think it was going to happen in a round 5. All the way to the very end, but VT COD again. I mean, the artillery strike, it wasn't a flashy one, and I'm being told that I completely lost Keg.
Oh,
so.
no.
Oh, he's back.
The game, it took me out. It was so intense that my internet said, no, it's good. I'm the winner.
You miss a really good closing.
Oh.
I mean, VT COD, like I was saying, I mean, they win the first offensive round, all raid control long, and that's for the map. That's the swing map mode combo. So now VT COD will be up 2-1 in this series versus VCU Esports, and that's just gut-wrenching, right? The artillery strike, like I talked about coming out from Trico, I was wondering if they still hold on to it. I hadn't seen it all round 5, and they call it in. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't sexy by any means, but it was good enough to be able to zone away enough members for VCU Esports to then work past Spiral to cover the A zone, past jungle, cover the middle of the map, and then they also just stack the entire zone. It just gets so fast progression, Keg, and now VT COD, they're sitting there up on map point ahead of the Garrison hardpoint where they could just close things out.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see them really pull that final milestone over against the enemy team here. But we're going to make you guys wait a little bit more. We're going to be going to a small break while we get things fine-tuned on our end. Maybe restart my internet, but don't go anywhere. Subscribe to CCL, and we'll be right back. We return yet again to map number 4. Bit of a break, do apologize, but we just wanted to build up the anticipation as much as we could for Garrison on Hardpoint. Proper, this is the last time we're going to see Hardpoint, at least for now, between these two teams, but it will be for the series. The stakes are high. Each game has been unbelievably close, and like you said, it was a barn burner, and we're just about to get to the haystacks.
Yeah, and if you're just now joining us too, that Moscow Hardpoint to start off the series, the only difference was 10 seconds between the two teams. And inside this Garrison Hardpoint, VCU Esports are 2-0 on the map mode combo. VT COD are 1-0. But the biggest takeaways from that Moscow Hardpoint was that VT COD, they are always there for very early rotations. VCU Esports, their breaks are something to always speak about. But damn is Twisted on a mission. They dropped 38 kills in that opening hardpoint. Gonna be looking to try to do the same thing, but on the opposite side for VCU Esports. Timmy has been on a rampage with the SMG, and Garrison, it could be their playground.
Oh, Holy, look at this explosive start coming out from both teams here. Everyone has an objective that they're trying to reach, but look at Impulsive, especially holding down the hard point as much as they can. They have to try those scrap points again, but it's not like the last time around where we saw the rotates happening very quickly once they got onto the site. No, it's a huge contention.
Yeah, contesting time for right now. You still got 40 seconds left to play, so you might just hit this one last time for VCU Esports before you start rotating all the way down towards the generator hardpoint. And yeah, they're just gonna try to hit all the way through it, try to get top green control as well.
Oh, but everyone's stuffed inside the little brick building. They're all-star holding down the fort as much as he can. Right around the corner is Crux, but on the other side, it's going to be Timmy as well. They all find him at once, and that's going to be VCU trying to take it over yet again. It's a bit of a reversal of what we had seen last time we were on hardpoint here, but now VCT had nearly double the points of VCU.
You're going to be feeling pretty darn skippy about this if you are VT COD, because you did lose 2 numbers, and they spawned over by P3 as well. So they're just going to be able to zone away through the middle of the map. Trico just trying to finesse the middle of the map underneath, inside the little hidey holes. We'll be able to get the regen. Pops up and immediately into a challenge of 2 players will lose their life. But again, initial time from scrap, good for VT COD. And 1 player just left alive over by P4. It's going to be Impulse. They fall. So now the hit is about to be coming through for VCU Esports.
VT just feels so much more in their element on this map, already finding these early rotates coming on through. The trade's much more in their favor this time around. I mean, look, Impulse. We were talking about him on Search and Destroy, not doing too well. Now 7-5, and we barely started the map. Here we are, though, having a bit of a contention going on through on point 2. It's going to be mostly in the favor of VT yet again, as they continue to double the points of VCU.
Yeah, VCU Esports, they may have broken into the spawns, but VT COD, they take a look at that. They're saying, okay, that's fine. Impulse will come in here, try to contest it, try to finesse for a little bit more time, but it's still going to be 20 seconds, and that disparity might just be middle map control for VCU Esports, not unless Crook can go absolutely big. They go inside green. They're good for 1, drops down. How about 2 inside the next upcoming hill? So just as soon as I say that, the spawn's upset. All-Star spawns over by the old hill, joining with the old teammates, and VCU Esports, they do a great job of transitioning just off of Crux' wonderful spree.
Oh, but they get the point immediately. Now it's up to VT to push back and try to reclaim what they think is rightfully theirs. Only 10 points between the 2 teams. It's up to Timmy, though, to hold it down the fort, but it's a 1v3. No, but then a 1v4. They get traded out, but Timmy tries to put in the work. He's unable to find a kill. That's going to be up to Twisted now, holding it down. Looking. Pasta could see 2 different bodies across the entire map, but one of the Crux up close. He's going to find him instead. 30 seconds left now on this point. This is VCU now taking over the point side, now in the lead over VT. That's going to be a strong position to have, but they have to maintain it. Contested yet again. Sheik from above, able to get the aerial kills, but from behind, he's going to fall. That's still 11-8 coming out from Twisted, holding it down, finding Timmy from the behind. He's able to find so many of these flank kills, but now the point's going to be rotating yet again.
Yeah, luckily enough for All-Star, they do spawn over by P5, over by the shipment square. They're able to get away with their life. Middle of the map is there for VT COD, but given where they're standing at, I don't think that they're going to be able to read the split spawns that came through from VCU over by generators, and they surely will not, and that's where our other 2 players were spawning over by P5 as well. Now all VT COD, plus the pinch from Twisted, over by P2. Looking to break inside P5, VCU Esports, they got a pretty good hold of things so far, and they're just sitting here getting the opening 20.
P number 5, now triple digits for VCU, having a full control in the beginning here, maintaining it, but All-Star, the whole kill feed, the favor of Virginia Tech. It's going to keep on going this way for the rest of the game here, but if VCU can find those early rotates and early takes of the points, they might be able to hold it down. VT, though, were the kings of getting the scrap points the last time we saw hardpoint here, and it looks like this is no different. The rotate's trying to come on through yet again. 13 seconds left on the clock, and nobody's able to stay on for more than a few seconds. 14 now, 114 at that for the favor of VCU as they have to rotate yet again.
Yeah, so at the end of the first set of hills, what started off all strong for VT COD. It's going to be a 30-point or so lead for VCU Esports again. The rotations were always there for VT COD, but the break potential for VCU Esports is truly just coming all the way through. And Kruk being at 28-8, it certainly helped things out. You know, the SMG presence of VT COD in the early going of things was absolutely amazing, but Impulse has slowed down considerably. They're only at 10 and 15 right now. Twisted at 17 and 11. Trico's going to try to break things in through the back, but even still, what you're really battling for is where Schick is currently located at, in top green. For that rotation over towards P2, could be the battle for the rotation, and Twisted wins it.
Oh, Twisted, ring around the rosy, comes out with a double kill at that, though. 24 seconds left on this point. Trico might have a great chance of finding 4 different kills, but no, he's not able to find any. He has to relegate himself away. Up on top of bridge, Impulse down below, trying to help out their team. It gets a headshot, taking another one down, but she from behind has been the positioning master of this game, able to find all the important power positions needed to take down VT side, and that is why they have a 40-point lead, but there's still 100 to go.
It's all about this P2 setup here, and again, VT COD, they have numbers initially, but the reinforcements are not here quite yet, so VCU Esports, they have an opportunity to try to break on in, but you have a Heady and a half with that TAC satellite. Also got Trico with the SMG. They've been really, really good for this team in the previous few maps, but as we do go through the opening 20, it will go in the favor for VT COD. VCU Esports are trying to work their way in through the front, but so far, not really successful, including a team kill.
Oh, that is not good. Those team kills could add up. It's the first I think we've only seen so far, but Twisted, 25 and 12, only matched up by Kruk now, the hardpoint masters of both teams. Early point coming on through for the side of VCU. Able to hold it down. Some bodies are traded, sure, but they're able to have the majority onto the site. It's not even contested at this point. They had a small lead. It was tied before, but Twisted from behind is able to get yet another double kill, but he's not able to get onto the site. He's relying on the rest of Virginia Tech to do that for him.
Player number 6, Ventrex, is just trying to block sponsor successful, in a manner of speaking. P2 active spawns will send Twisted spawning all the way across the entire of the map. Here come a couple streaks. Artillery strike, or cruise missile rather, is in play here for Kruk. We'll be able to find at least one. That could be the opening that VCU Esports needs to try to break in towards this hill.
Peekaboo from under the van. Kruk rotating near the spawn area. Another one hiding down below. He's able to find one, but there's still one hiding away. He's able to find yet another. Him and his teammates help out. It's the team play that matters here. But up from above is All-Star. He's able to find one before getting traded out. Again, holding down the hard point. VCU needs to get this one. If they're able to hold it down the entire time, little contestation, they can get the 200 points. But now they're having a big issue, though. VT's fighting back. So many different trades happening on through. It's faster than blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a fantastic use of streaks there for the double positive 28 and 14 Kruk to break inside P3. 30-point lead here now for VCU Esports, and now the rotation over towards New. Might not be the immediate consideration as Kruk just plays on the rat roll, just wants to work their way over by the shipping square. It will be snuffed out by Trico, but inside of P4, at least for the initial time, it's going up towards the game clock, but VT COD, they're feeling okay with this. You just want to zone away VCU Esports, who now, from spawns, have a pinch.
Nobody's able to survive more than a few seconds. Nobody's able to keep up with one another. The hard point again in the favor of Virginia Tech side, but it's up to Vengeance to try to find another one. He's able to find one, impulsive falls, but then again, the rest of the teammates aren't having much luck. The kill feed goes into the favor of VCU, but at what cost? Well, it's everybody on the board. Ariel above, trying to find Trico. Trico finds one instead. He's able to find yet another one. No, gets traded instead. Contested yet more. Still not having an advantage from either side. 15 seconds left. It's in the favor of VCU yet again. Scrap points maybe in the favor of VT. That's all they can hope for. It's going to be in the favor of VT now. 7 seconds worth of points is a lot proper, but that's going to be enough time for VCU to rotate over for the next point and able to use that early advantage.
It's the second set of hard points on Moscow all over again. Every single time VT COD, they have themselves all set up. That's fine and all dandy, but VCU Esports, when the moment is right, they come in and they break inside those spawns for where they can get a lot of time. But VT COD, the biggest difference between the Moscow hardpoint and now in the Garrison, they have woken up. They are hitting through the front, but here comes Timmy in again. Fantastic margin to be at for sure. Big break coming through from the back. Timmy, only at 19 and 21, is helping VCU Esports leap above the point margin that VT COD currently hold. It's 210 to 178.
Oh, and there's no contestation coming out at all from Virginia Tech side. Some bodies are close, but it's not enough. They have to really push as a group, but they're pushing it one by one. All-Stars hiding on the ground, so many bodies nearby. Trico's not too far away, up above, trying to trade out All-Star instead, but Sheik might have both their numbers. It's up to Timmy, though. He might be able to find one on the ground. He's able to find one. No, gets traded out instead, and All-Star helps from above. Look at that, though. Sheik, another one, able to skirt on by just in time. The flurry going around everybody. A new hard point comes through, but it's only a few more points until VCU can claim this map as their own.
The third set of hills is about to be coming through, and VCU Esports, they can close it out on P1, so VT COD, they got to contest this P1 area. They want to soak up as much time, but then it might come down in consideration for New. Depends on how this opening break comes through.
But look at this here. Only 15 points left. VCU might be able to take it home. They weren't able to get the first one. It was stolen away by VT, but the odds are so much more in the favor of VCU this time around. It's no longer even. It's nearly a 50-point difference. Quark is able to push up a little bit more. They're able to take this over. They win the map. But there it goes. It's in their favor. Twisted might be the only one left to stand in their way, and he's able to do so with a double kill, no less, but gets traded out instead. Shito has control. The rest of the team has control. 1 point, make that 0. VCU win map 4.
They win map 4, 250 to 198. They're going to force that map 5 of Garrison Search and Destroy. And again, the biggest difference in between the Moscow and Garrison hardpoints was that when you had there towards the end of the third set of fails, or the second set rather, VT COD, they just came to absolute life. They were able to find breaks. They were able to find holds and setups. Much like the Moscow hardpoint here on Garrison, VT COD were always there initially, but they couldn't hold strong. With about 5 seconds or so remaining before the rotation really mattered, VCU Esports, the SMG presence from Timmy, and also coming through from Crook, was able to light things up in the kill feed. They were able to flip out the spawns, influential spawns, and influential kills galore. They were able to really dictate the pace for that entire match, and it just felt like VT COD were just always on their back foot throughout the entirety of that hardpoint.
And it was such a strong beginning for Virginia Tech too, right? They were able to get that early lead. They seemed to have found their motions, their footing, everything they needed. But after what, point 2, VCU found even better footing. They cemented themselves in the ground and they never let go.
Yeah, I mean, VCU Esports, that's what I was really breaking down to. If you go back to the Moscow Search and Destroy and then the middle set of hardpoints on the Moscow hardpoints, that they are very relentless. And that's the biggest difference maker versus in an SMG lineup that is able to work in tandem with one another versus one that is slowly working behind one of their flex players, that flex player being Twisted. Again, they have a very beautiful KD ratio, but apart from the rest of the team, it always seems like we're either saying, Crook needs help for the side of VCU Esports, or VT COD needs help, and that's going to be coming through from Twisted. But the help comes through all the more so for VCU Esports, and that comes by way of an SMG lineup of Timmy. Again, very key member for this team to be able to step up when it matters the most, to be able to have that SMG presence of mind, play for the breaks, to be able to block spawns. That's exactly what you need out of a team. And ahead of this Garrison Search and Destroy, again, you can find a lot of good breaks and a lot of good positions with Search and Destroy with an SMG in hand. Vents come to mind defensively when you're trying to break inside a Search and Destroy site for a quick play. And again, trying to work your way inside of those vents by way of dark. Also a big key part when you're also trying to work through the middle of the map on both sides.
And now we return to Search and Destroy. We thought this was going to be in the favor of VCU going into it, and it turned out to be VCU's win. But it wasn't by much. It was a close battle yet again, proper. It was a battle of the defense. It was up to whoever was able to peek out first, get that opening pick, and just run away with it. Were able to win the rounds. But now the tides seem to have turned. It was not as close of a game of hardpoint that we saw in map number 4 proper. And I'm wondering now, do you think Search and Destroy is going to be a landslide for one team or another?
Well, I mean, the Moscow Search and Destroy went all the way to round 11. It's going to be really tough to call because the Moscow Search and Destroy does not play out anything like Garrison. The rotations and the mind games were all higherly played, I should say, on the Moscow Search and Destroy than they could be on Garrison, just because one S&D site is not exactly as hittable as it is comparatively to the two on Moscow Search and Destroy. So it just comes down to how you're really just trying to work, trying to find these opening picks. Who's stun checking around what corners? Are you double stacking inside of vents? And again, it's just so tough to be able to call which one this is going to end up really coming through. But if there's one thing that you can end up taking away is that this might just come down to the Slayers when you're looking at from both these teams. Trico and Twisted coming out from VT COD, and then you also have Timmy along with Crook on the side for VCU Esports. Those are the players you're going to want to lean on for both of these squads to try to clutch up, if not find the openings for these rounds, to really make headway and walk away as the winner of the series.
They were a top fragger on Search and Destroy last time we were on Moscow, but one player I really want to keep an eye on is Impulsive. They had a very, very slow beginning on Search and Destroy, but they were able to find so much critical intel for VT to really find some of these early round advantages.
I mean, early round advantages are definitely everything that you're looking for. Even if you go back to the Moscow Search and Destroy, it was actually VT COD that came out on most of those advantages. They found a lot of early first bloods, but every single time on VCU Esports, They weren't always playing for the trades, but they were just really good at least finding one, if not twos, to be able to answer on back. And when they were just working inside those sites, those early advantages mean absolutely nothing, but they could be a little bit more potent here on Garrison Search and Destroy, given where, the corners and the nooks and crannies, it's very difficult to be able to play for the trades until you're actually on that BS&D site. But it's going to be interesting to see where all the players are going to be playing from, who's going to be battling for top catwalk, top green, who's going to be beaming players from afar. We're going to end up seeing any streaks come into play, because then we might just get a very interesting search and destroy to close out the series, man.
Oh Lord, I didn't even think about bringing streaks to S&D. That could be devastating.
Yeah, I mean, think about it for streaks. If you're just trying to break inside the ASD side again, that's a site that you don't necessarily take. But if you can get on there via an artillery strike to find the spacing, it just might be your play. But VCU Esports, as we load inside this Garrison Search and Destroy, last map between these two, last match of the day here for College COD. VCU Esports on offense first. Bombs being carried by Timmy, and they're looking for the middle of the map. Information's going to be good. It's going to be Sheik that finds first blood on an all-star. That could open up the middle of the map for a B plant.
Impulse is playing very defensive on A side, but it looks like it's going to be B the way to go. Twisted, top ranker for most of these games, and able to find another one that's going to be the opening pick up against VCU's side. But Vengeance going to go down. He's able to hide a little bit more, but usually the number 2, Treko's going to fall next. Only 2 left alive now. Twisted, Impulse. Oh, never mind. It's just swinging down to 1. It's up to Twisted to now clutch out a 1v3. It's no easy task. 20 seconds left, and not only that, he has to get a defuse as well. Up above, having no intel at hand, no idea where anybody is left alive. 38 seconds, though, he has to push up. He has a lot of room to play with, but not a lot. As every second goes on by, it's another advantage lost. He has to push on through. He makes his way through A. They've rotated over fully. Kruk on the other side to his hard left. He might be able to find them spotting out crossing, but even then, he's a sitting duck. 20 seconds left now. Hiding away. Might have seen the footsteps, but no one's seen Twisted just yet. He comes from behind. Able to find one, but down below an alley. He might be able to find a second one. Get him! Yes, Kruk's now the last one alive. 10 seconds left. Able to get it right at the beginning of time.
Yeah, post-plant situation is just so damn tough to be able to win a 1v3. I mean, I guess if you're looking at this from VT's perspective, if there's a guy that you want, you might as well have Twisted. Again, they have the best KD ratios across every single map mode combo for VT COD. But, in the post-plant scenario, you got a player top green, player inside events, over on top of the plat, 4P1 as well. That's just very good to be able to play their numbers for VCU Esports. And again, the start of that round was just so slow and methodical. Even finding first blood, they didn't give up any other inches. They didn't even play for that plant until about 28 seconds. We're gonna have to see if patience is also going to be a virtue coming through from VT COD. But snipers aren't in the game anymore for Search and Destroy here, Keg. But Kruk does not care. They're finding themselves beams for 2 kills.
Holy crap. And you take down all of the top fraggers for VT side. That's leaving just Impulse. Impulse is a lot slower when it comes to search and destroy, but the intel has been pivotal. Here, it has to be a one-man army. A 1v4 now, 55 seconds left. They're already down a single point. It was in the favor of VCU last time, but Impulse needs to make it now at least even. It's going to be rough. Oh, Semtex in hand, not going to be hitting them. It seems he's going to take some damage. I think he's already kind of given up. He's going to go for the kill. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going to be 2 in a row for VCU.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, too, that's actually really wise. Where Kruk was able to find 2 kills, that's where you start getting that scary fashion. I mean, it's not possible quite yet, but it could definitely become a consideration in later rounds. That if Kruk is playing these long angles and they're shooting nukes like that out of the XM4, that streaks might just become a consideration. Now, you're a solid 5 kills away before that artillery strike might be coming on 3 through, or just 2 kills, excuse me. Is already on a 4 spree through the opening round as well, but still, nevertheless, VT COD hoping to win at least an opening gunfight so that way they can find an advantage and have it stick. VCU Esports on another offense, same thing as they did in their previous offenses through the middle of the map. A couple opening shots coming out from stick, but it's not going to be good for an opening kill. Not yet.
It seems like it's going to be the same playbook as round number 1 now. VCU playing their time, hiding around as much as they can. They were able to play slow in the beginning, but no Impulse is going to fall first. That's going to be all down to the killers left on VT's side. Vendrix will be pushing up a little bit more, maybe trying to go for a flank. It's yet to be seen. Having a potential plant going down on A, but look at this though. Kruk already getting some stun flashes down. He's going to hit himself a little bit more, but everyone on BT is completely spread apart. Twisted's going to fall. No clutch opportunities this time around as the plant goes down on B. 40 seconds left. Able to find some snipes. Oh, Star's gonna fall. Only one left alive. It's Trico. He has to do what Twisted couldn't in that very first round, but they've already spotted him. It's a 1v4. He's surrounded.
That's now a 5 spree for Schick, and still on that 4 spree for Crook. Shriek's becoming an immediate consideration, but again, Garrison control, or Garrison search and destroy, excuse me. Just when I was saying it was the land of SMG opportunity, the AR lineup coming through for this VCU Esports is just degrading VT COD. They have no room to breathe. They can't rotate. They can't get positional advantage because every single time they try, it's either Schick or Crook with an AR in hand, just beaming you across the map. I mean, for goodness sakes, VT COD, they only have 3 total kills, and that's all on Twisted within that first round.
This is not the same Virginia Tech we saw at the beginning of this series. They need to find their footing here, but already Schick might be able to find someone right around the corner on the other side of that little alleyway. Luckily, though, a wall is going to be dividing between both of them. Twisted needs to find his groove yet again. He's been the absolute bread maker for the team, and yet he's sitting there 3-3.
Hoping to at least find some information. All the players for VCU Esports, nobody inside the vents. They're all over by Square and inside of Cobble. Hey, they're completely fine. You want to play coy, you want to play for the information. Yeah, VCU Esports, they're on defense. They can go ahead and play this game a little bit longer.
Oh, geez. Twisted. He's the one to keep an eye on. He's the only one on VT side to have a kill so far. If he goes down, that's not a good sign for Virginia Tech for a potentially 4 in a row now. Already a trophy system's gonna be activated. Twisted's feet have been discovered. He's gonna get mowed down. Timmy's able to find it. Now it's gonna be up to the rest of the squad. Not a single kill across the board for them sides. They're getting picked off one by one. Benj, though, might be able to find it. Impulse is the last one alive yet again. He's not even able to go for the suicide this time. He's gonna fall.
4 rounds in, all in the favor of VCU Esports. VT COD, you got to start working some sort of magic on this Garrison Search and Destroy. I know you haven't played it before in CCL so far, but you got to show something. I mean, these nerdy spots are just way too easy to be giving up first blood. So you saw Timmy, like a little Pomeranian, just nipping at the ankles, able to lock down first blood, and all VT COD like dominoes just fell all the way down. Now a 7 spree coming through for Schick. You got an artillery strike to play with, and again, you can make the play for A, and it seems like that's where the bomb wants to go towards. And even in a post-plant situation, you could use the ping for artillery strike for information where the players are hiding at. But defensively, VT COD, they're getting aggressive through the middle of the map.
Impulse hiding below the tank. Trico, though, rotating around as well. One hiding around the corner. No, not going to see them in time. Never mind. It works out in their favor. And that's going to be VT in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and again, this round gets blown open like a can of Pringles through the middle of the map. You can get aggressive with the submachine guns, and it's that little play right there that a lot of teams wait for this exact moment. That's a trick up your sleeve that you haven't been getting aggressive through offense or defensive rounds. So why not try it right there? What else you got left to lose? You got to get on the board. And VT COD with a clean wipe. Everybody finds a kill in that previous round, but it's just minorly stopping the bleeding. It's like a big old gash. You just put like a little Band-Aid over top of it. Sorry for the gruesome picture, but still, VT COD, they would really love this offensive round. They're stacking over towards top green. Many players pop up here. You know that Ventric heard that. They will find first blood, maybe a second. No, trickle for a trade.
Impulse just goes in like a drone, able to find one, gets traded out as bait, but even then, it looks like a little bit more utility being used against VT than I think they would like. Only one body was lost on VCU's side. Now they can hide inside Brick House and be able to survive a little bit more nice and dandy. That's leaving 2 left alive now on Virginia Tech's side. Trigo does have the bomb. Going towards B now. A side's clearly not going to work, but it looks like the aerial advantage might be able to bring it towards B, or maybe Twisted's going to play a little bit of a bait game. If he's able to get that aerial reconnaissance, it's only Crux to worry about, but of course, you're also talking about Crux going 4-1. He's had a slower game after round number 2. He has those streaks that he could work with, but he's 4-1. Oh, never mind. Another one going to fall down. Trico, last one alive, gets the plant down, but even that at what cost? Well, he's not able to get up, so he tries to go down, but he's going 6 feet under.
Yeah, match point now for VCU Esports. Schick is having themselves a game and a half. You got artillery strike to play with for this closing round if you so desire. 11-2. You just talked about the position that Crick was playing. They were just outside of lights. They were holding the cross just in case a pinch came through from Brick. You'll see Schick, and then in the last play, Trico just tried to scurry like the rat that they attempted to be inside that vent. Just couldn't get there in time, but even still, the ARs coming through for this VCU Esports, they are just lighting things up. Pinches galore. It's just such a scary sight to behold if you're VT COD because you can't get crazy through the middle of the map. You can't get too frisky with the SMGs because that those lineups are going to be there for the ARs, and Twisted can only do so much if the space isn't being provided and you're not bulldozing it down like what you're seeing from VCU Esports. And for an AR player of Twisted's caliber, he's never going to be in a good spot. So now VCU Esports on offense could potentially be the last round. They are stacking towards B. They got Timmy inside the fence.
And they have cleared everything out right now. Timmy hiding in vents, like you mentioned, proper, but look at Trico down below the tank. This could be a great flank opportunity. The bomb's not too far away, but it's so close to B. They might be waiting for the plant sound. But even then, bullets are going to start flying. All-Star's been discovered, but no, they're both going to survive. Still 55 seconds left. So much time for everyone to play with, but there's not enough time to win this series if you're VT COD. Every kill right now matters. Impulse able to find the opening pick, but even then, is that going to be enough? Trico goes in for a rogue Semtex. It's not going to hit anybody just yet, but though, pushing on forwards, playing a little bit more defensive, seems to be working in the favor of Virginia Tech, but even then, though, they get caught out of guard. Right around the corner on the box, Timmy able to find two.
No.
That's going to be a huge, but no, there's only two left alive on VT side. A 2v2. This could decide the whole series right here. If Twisted can stay in the game a little bit longer, he's been able to do this in the past. He can clutch things out, but he's also choked a little bit as well. There you go. VT get 2 on the board.
Oh, that got really scary there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that VCU were about to win a 2v4, and that was about to just really come all the way through what I was talking about in the Moscow Search and Destroy. Even though VT COD, they find first bloods, they find numbers advantages, they just couldn't close out the round. But they finally have a player of Twisted up in top green to shut down any sort of cross from the B site over towards square. Once the crossfire more than needed, and that got blown open by Impulse finding that first blood. All-Star was able to find a flank and Trico as well. They just pinched them all over inside that B site.
Oh no.
Over by the plateau as well. Crook back to their old ways. Nobody giving them the line of sight ever since they found a opening 2-piece. But even still, it's the mere threat that you got to be concerned with because VT COD, again, a must-win offensive round. I'm going to send Trico through the vents. Maybe find some space and some information for this B site. Maybe a plan.
In that early stalling coming out from Crux as well, making sure that nobody can push mid anymore. They're relegating themselves to the far left and far right of the entire map. Opening pick going to nobody just yet, though, prop. Look at this, though. Sheik is putting themselves right in the line of fire. Trico's in the middle of vents and a really good power position.
Gonna have to see if can try to work their way towards this bomb plan. I mean, we'll be traded
They
out
could.
to the 3v3, but it's still a lot of opportunities. Maybe you could try to bait out a rotation. You can see the defensive members for VCU Esports. They are just trying to cover the cross for that potential. Trico's going to go down. That's a bomb dropped over by Plateau. So now 2v3 we go.
27 seconds left. That bomb is down, but not in the right spot, not in the right way. Timmy has a great line of sight for anyone that pushes in the B. 19 seconds left. It might be too late to go to A. You have to dedicate towards it. Impulse might be able to find it, but instead, no, it's going to move the position instead. Down inside vents, surrounded by the enemies. Can this be it? All-Star falls. VCU win the series.
6-2 final scoreline here on Garrison's Search and Destroy. And yeah, I mean, Timmy was just sitting there in the corner. Somebody's going to challenge. Somebody's going to try to plant this B site. He had a defensive player over towards A as well, and although Twisted, that was a nasty little snapper and a headshot right there. It's just not going to be good enough at the end of it all. And I tell you, this VCU Esports roster on this Garrison Search and Destroy and throughout every single map mode combo as well. I mean, towards the tail end, and even at the beginning, maybe a little bit lackluster. It was really all Crook, but I mean, I tell you what, that Timmy fella is pretty darn good at Call of Duty. Has his nerdy spots on lock versus the 74U, at least on Garrison is concerned. But then you also had, the shiny members of Schick. Probably was not going to have as great as a search and destroy for VCU Esports unless all of those crossfires were set up in between Crook and Schick. Those ARs, man, I tell you, you are not working through that Garrison warehouse if you are an SMG player for VT COD anytime soon. That was a scary sight to behold.
Scary sight to behold, and I can't wait to see more of it on both teams. But that was, if Timmy is the mastermind, he's the brains of the operation, right? Kruk is the arm and hammer and the gun that executes for VCU side. That was so clean in the maps they won and really close in the maps they lost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was an overall very close series. You can see it right above our heads. We went to a round 11 for the Search and Destroy. Moscow Hardpoint. Twisted dropped 35 kills to be able to escape away with the final rotation into the final hill to win by 10 seconds. The raid control went to a round number 5 where it was all defense, and then the VT COD closed out with a final offense using streaks 215 to 198 on the Garrison hardpoint, and that's when VCU Esports really started coming towards their own. Timmy was finding breaks inside hills. Crook was just going on spree after spree. They had streaks to play with there towards the very end and in towards the Garrison search and destroy, where it came to a very abrupt close. Just the executions, the decisiveness coming out from VCU Esports too much early on for VT COD, and they just could not bounce on back. They could not adapt to the AR presence that VCU Esports just held over top.
ARs are powerful, prop. What can you say?
Yeah, no joke. I mean, the XM4, a lot of people are talking about it for a reason, for sure.
But let's see if we can see more XM4 action as we continue on forwards in the CCL. It is almost 1 in the morning. That's how powerful this final series was. But I think that's just about all we have for tonight, prop. And it was fantastic casting with you. But we're going to have to see what holds for everyone at the CCL next week with both the Alpha and the Bravo streams. Don't go anywhere next week, though, because we're going to have more amazing CCL action. My name has been Keg. This has been Prop, and we'll see you guys next week.